It's beyond fairy tale. It's inconceivable.
There it is. Doyle done it. This is the greatest sport in the world.
Nearly 90% of the main event field is gone.
Good luck, man. Play good.
Many of the game's greats have hit the rail.
See you next year, baby.
Now, just 733 remain, and they all have one thing in mind. Make the money.
Ready to do this?
Every hand matters. Every elimination counts. Who will get the cash? Who will go home empty-handed? The race for the money is on. Welcome to the World Series of Poker presented by Milwaukee's Best Life. For Norman Chad, I'm Lon McCarran. As Day 3 continues, we're just 67 players away from the money. Several of the game's best remain in the hunt. Two former world champs loom large. Phil Hellmuth and Johnny Chan now in the field. While today's focus is making the money, the pros know it's a good time to build chip stacks. Victor Randon will try to do that at table 2. But the man everyone's looking up to has taken a seat at the featured table. Chip leader Guard Escalent has amassed over 700,000 in chips. He's got his work cut out for him if he wants to hold on to those chips at this table. Australian pro David Saab is here. He won the heads-up championship of the Aussie Millions last year.
Next to him is Frankie Odell, whose 2 World Series bracelets have come in Omaha 8 events. And next to him is the Nod Medic, who won the first bracelet awarded at this World Series. Probably wouldn't mind winning the last one.
I'm just trying to make it into the money. I don't know if you guys are aware, but we're getting close.
How close? You got heaps of chips. What are you talking about?
Time to tighten up, fold around.
I don't think that's going to happen on this table.
Medic flaunting his game plan, real or not, for everyone to hear. On the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam, 8-7 into the muck. There's chip leader Sigurd Eskelund.
Now, you don't need to steal our blinds.
I'm not stealing your blinds.
Okay.
He folds the queen 10. Next up is 35-year-old David Saab. He's been wearing that Superman shirt every day at the main event, so now they call him Superman. The 10-7 of hearts. He raises to 7,500. Here's Odell. He won his bracelets in 03 and 07.
Well, this is how you win chips. You just raise the other blind, hope he has 10-8, and he'll go away.
Big blind does call, though.
Oh. Well, if he doesn't go away, plan B is outplay him after the flop.
And the flop is 8-5-6. Odell takes the lead with a pair of 8s. Saab with an up and down straight draw. He is first to act.
Saab saw his friend Tino Licic playing on TV in 2003 for millions of dollars and said, heck, I should be doing that.
Saab bets 10,000 on that draw. Odell now with a leading pair of 8s. Will raise it with top pair to 28,000.
Odell says 10,000 is an insult. 28,000 is respectable.
David Saab. Not going away quietly. A re-raise, wow, to 85,000.
Saab says 28,000 is an insult. 85,000 is acceptable.
And a quick and gutsy call from Odell.
I love aggression, especially when I'm not playing.
King on the turn now. Odell still leads with his 8s. He adds a flush draw now. Saab checks this time. Odell pushes.
A gutsy instinct from Frankie Odell for all his chips, and it's a good one. Odell just with a pair of 8s line, but Saab's not getting the right price here to call on just a draw.
He needs over 175,000 to make the call. And he folds.
That's it. What, homie? Yeah. That's it. What?
Frankie's a tough piece of work.
Nice hand.
Thank you.
So Odell takes that pot. It was aggression versus aggression, and the most aggressive won it.
You're all excited, huh?
When you get all in and it's before the bubble, I'm going to get excited. I came to play. I didn't come to play.
Perfect setup for this day 3. Some amateurs are going to walk on eggshells and just try to finish in the money. The pros are full speed ahead. Norman, this is that moment of the main event that everyone's been waiting for. It's time to make the money. Those remaining already outlasted 6,000 players, which unfortunately for them won't count for much if they don't outlast 60 more.
Well, you've got a lot of folks out there just hanging on. Please let me cash. Please let me cash. Please let me cash. These people disgust me. There's no honor in crawling across the finish line. I want to see some players charge into the money. I want to see chips at risk. I want to see some gamble.
Norman, if that's what you want, that's what you get from the guy we've got sitting over at table 2, pro poker player and philanthropist Victor Ramdin. Not just trying to make the money for himself, he uses his winnings to help as many children as possible in his home country of Guyana. Ramdin looks down at ace 6 of hearts. Victor, 40 years old, lives in New York.
Here's Victor.
He is playing with Bill Blanda, a cousin of Hall of Fame football player George Blanda. Ramdin raised it to 9,000.
Blanda made a World Series final table in 2005.
I raise.
Pocket 9s, Blanda says raise.
Victor should say, here's Bill.
And here is Bill. It makes it 30,000 to play. He's a retired investor from Texas, plays poker full-time now.
I'm weak. Really weak.
A weak ace, into the muck.
Take my money, buddy.
I'm sure it's only bait.
Blanda loves talking to the other players at the poker table.
Does it have GPS on it? You're going to come tracking it later?
Victor doesn't use GPS, but he does put his initials on all his chips.
This is sure to be a big moving day here in the Rio Poker Room. At an outer table, Chao Zhang is hoping to improve against Karan Radia, who is all in. Chao has a flush draw. Radia flopped top pair. Turn card now. Is a 5 of diamonds, and Chao Zhang wins that hand with a flush. Radia's gone.
Radia, a 23-year-old student at Northeastern University, and he sees his main event end abruptly.
So Radia will go home short of the money.
It's a lot of baby. Come on, baby. It's not the final table here. And I just saw him.
Chao's got a lot of different ways of saying poker is nice.
Elsewhere, Mike Matiso flopped a set of 7s. His opponent is all in with a nut flush draw, looking for a spade. He doesn't get it. Yeah! Matiso wins the hand.
And that is Mike's signature celebratory move of late. Run away from the table with a little fist pump.
And the field is one closer to the money now. 2 former main event champs remaining here. One of them, Phil Hellmuth, is all in. 89 champ is up against Raja Katamori on a board of Queen 5 deuce.
Mikey, there's already 300,000 in the middle, and I'm all in.
Phil gives us an update.
Claiming queens? Oh, I'm not claiming queens.
Katamori folds.
Buddy, he raised me. I re-raised him 60,000. He raised me. I re-raised him 60,000 and shipped it all. What do you think I have, boys?
Who needs Sports Center? Phil gives you instant highlights.
3-4. It was a straight draw.
Phil's having a lot of fun at this main event, it looks like. The other former main event champ still remaining is Johnny Chan. He's in a pot right now with Tree Win. After the turn, Johnny leads with a pair of aces, Win a pair of 8s.
These two have been knocking heads here all day. The poker coach against the poker champion.
Win puts out a bet of 23,000. 3 diamonds on the board, too. And Johnny's not going anywhere, makes the call. Now the river card. Chan ahead with the aces. And Chan now with the check mark with those aces.
Win teaches low-stakes players how to play better. Chan teaches low-stakes players to get the heck out of his way.
Johnny checks, and Win's going to stay aggressive. 48,000 now after the river.
Yeah, Win has fired out a lot of bets against the great Johnny Chan at this table. No fear. Chan might be scared of the diamonds on the board, trying to figure out if his aces are good.
Chan makes the call. Win confidently turns over his 8s. No, not good enough. Aces are best for the 2-time main event champ.
It's Johnny Chan. And he shoots Win a Johnny Chan look.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to blow up the Chan man, man.
That is a message that should be heard throughout this Rio Poker Room. The pros are here to play.
Hello, Mr. Cunningham. Alan, it's a big pot out there, buddy. I'm all in. Don't be scared.
I call.
Only a donkey would make that call.
We play at FullTiltPoker.com.
Each and every year, there's one title every player is hoping to avoid.
The money bubble is broken.
Bubble Boy out of luck and just 1 out of the money. 716 players remaining here in the Rio. All want to cash, of course. Maybe none more so than Adam Schoenfeld. This pro hoping to cash in a World Series event for the first time in his career.
I'm going to go for a high-risk maneuver here.
If Adam finally makes the money, that would leave me as the best player never to cash at the World Series.
Across the room, someone who knows about cashing at the World Series. Men the Master wins, second only to Phil Hellmuth in a record number of cashes.
And there is his wife, Van, Mrs. Master, who's alive and doing better than the Master at this main event.
Someone else doing better than their better half, the fiancée of the eliminated Patrick Antonius, Maya Geller. Geller's all in with pocket kings. Tamir Akrawi has 2 jacks.
I miss Patrick.
Maya needs to avoid a jack on the river. River card is an 8, and Maya wins that hand to double up.
Maya and Patrick met at the Bellagio here in Las Vegas. They lived together for a while at the Bellagio, and Patrick proposed to Maya at the Bellagio. Heck, when I'm at the Bellagio, all I ever do is lose.
Careful, I have chips.
Almost 120,000 chips. Elsewhere, Mike Wilson has pocket jacks. He moved all in after the flop of low cards up against Robin Larson, who called with ace-king high and needs to catch to eliminate Wilson. And the turn card is a king, and Wilson is in trouble. River card now a 9, and that is no help to Mike Wilson. He has been knocked out of this main event. Robin Larson eliminates the former stockbroker from Canada. Mike had to overcome a lot of obstacles to play here in the World Series. No money this year, but we wish him luck in the future. There is the main event bracelet. You'll see it awarded to our new world champ on November 11th.
Are you over 21?
What do you think?
I don't know. You look pretty young to me.
Thank you. That's a compliment, huh?
Yes.
Escalon actually 34.
Action on James McManus, not the American author. This McManus is 23 years old from Dublin, Ireland, and he looks down at an ace and a queen offsuit.
McManus graduated from Dublin City University. I believe they are the Demon Deacons.
Yeah. 8,500 is the raise for McManus. Action over to David Saab. Saab with pocket jacks. Born in Korea, lives in Manila, spent a lot of time in Australia, as you can tell by his accent, and he makes the call.
This is a remarkably international feature table. If INS walked in here, we'd have 6 or 7 empty seats in a hurry.
The flop is a couple of 4s and a jack, and Saab flops a full boat. McManus, look at that percentage, 1% chance of winning this hand, and he bets 10,500 into the pot.
Saab's got to love that. He's got McManus all but dead here.
A flat call from Saab. McManus in severe trouble. Turn card is a 9 of hearts. Saab now with the check mark, holding that full house. McManus checks now, hoping for a free card. Saab, 20,000.
McManus just with ace high.
It's a little less than half the pot. McManus is going to come along for some reason.
Well, a really bad read on this hand for McManus. He thinks Saab is posturing.
8 of hearts on the river. McManus checks again. Saab's got to bet it. 60,000. That's a full house bet.
David bet 60,000.
Well, McManus thinking about it with ace high. He seems convinced Saab has squadouche. You know, he might even be thinking of raising here to take Saab off a marginal hand. That would be an unmitigated disaster. Unmitigated.
He's not going to get much of a read on David Saab in his current posture. Wow, McManus calls. Saab's got to love that. And Saab shows the winning full house.
And McManus feels really, really stupid.
Ace High's not going to win that pot.
That could have been a great call if he had a different hand.
Yeah, Lon, and I could have been a great male model if I had a different face.
Absolutely a cause for celebration for David Saab to get paid off there. All right, away from the feature table over the Milwaukee's Best Light No Limit Lounge to table 2. Victor Ramden has raised the action to 9,000 with ace-jack. Action on Burke Aiden, 40-year-old player who won his seat in a home game tournament. We're seeing a lot of that now.
Aiden is a real estate investor in Florida.
I raise.
And he's going to raise it again. Ramden wondering what this guy's up to. He makes it 30,000 with pocket queens.
I'm all in.
Ramden's going to make a power play.
Boy, earlier we saw Victor lay down ace-6 suited against Bill Blanda when he raised with pocket nines. Here, he raises Aiden all in with ace-jack off.
He's got 100, right?
What is it?
What? He said I'm all in. I heard what you said.
Well, if he heard what Victor said, how come he hasn't called? Normally, this is an easy call. All that can beat him are pocket aces or pocket kings, but making the money here has to be on his mind. If Ramden has him crushed, Aiden goes home without cashing.
Aiden, World Series rookie and amateur player, up against a very experienced Victor Ramden.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
He did it because he's Victor Ramden. He's got a decent hand with ace-jack, and he knows that most amateurs are holding out for the money now.
I fold.
Ramden sensed he could make a move, and it worked. So that is the Planter's good instinct moment.
You play too good.
Show the bluff.
I don't bluff.
Show the bluff. You show for the game. Come on, show ace jack.
You see, rule number 1, you never re-raise the original raiser, especially when I'm raising, because I'm crazy.
All right, we will have this conversation next time.
All right.
Okay.
I hope you're here.
A power play at just the perfect moment by Victor Ramden.
The Planter's Good Instinct moment is brought to you by Planters. Instinctively good.
Welcome back inside the Rio. The tension mounting. The field is shrinking. We're just 23 players from the money right now. I'll make that 22 players as Jeff Madsen has just eliminated an opponent and rakes in his chips.
Madsen once was the youngest bracelet winner of all time. He just turned 23. If he were to win this bracelet, he'd become the youngest main event winner ever.
And there is Javad Khan. He brought his wild antics to the final table of the main event last year. This year, quite the opposite.
And like Madsen, Javad Khan is 23. He too can become the youngest main event winner ever.
He is quiet but still aggressive. A re-raise there. Gets his opponent to fold.
And what a buzz in this room, Lon, as we get down to the money. But the new Javad Khan remains very mild and very sedate.
Yeah, but still collecting chips. That's the same old Javad. At another table, Mark Foss is in a pot. The river's just come down. 2 pair on the board. Action on Foss. He checks it over to his opponent.
Foss is 24. He would have had a chance to become youngest main event winner also, but since the final table this year is not till November, he turns 25 before then.
Foss calls the big bet by his opponent, and Mark turns over a nice pocket pair, and that's enough to win the pot.
Bad river.
Foss won his bracelet in 2006 in a no-limit hold'em event.
So Foss collecting some more chips there. At another table, there is the record holder for youngest main event winner ever, Phil Hellmuth, with just a couple of months shy of his 25th birthday when he won it all in 1989. Phil just raised pre-flop. His opponent has re-raised. And Hellmuth mucks.
When Phil mucks, his mind races with very bad thoughts.
Buddy?
Uh-oh, he's hot and bothered.
You don't respect any of my raises right now. Please. Please give me another hand. I gotta send somebody home, please.
I could listen to him vent all day.
Here is our E-Trade Financial chip count. The chip average about 200,000. Those top pros are doing better than average. Sigurd Eskelin at our featured table is about 200,000 behind our chip leader in the room. That man right there, Jeremiah Smith. Smith has had a good day. He's taken over the lead. He has almost 1 million chips, and he has put enough in the pot to put Leo Fernandez all in pre-flop.
Big decision, my friend. I know you have aces.
I don't know that.
Does Leo want to risk it all here?
You have aces.
I don't know if he's got aces.
Toss it in. You show my card, you show your card.
Fernandez gives it up.
We're getting close to the money. Fernandez wants to hold on to those chips.
And the richest gets richer. This has been a great day for Smith, who's picked up almost 600,000 chips on the day. And it is certainly better to have the chip lead than to be reporting on the chip leader, as the blogger turned poker player will be the first to tell you.
I moved to Las Vegas, and was struggling to find a job. And I saw that Card Player was hiring interns to be a tournament reporter. So I spent the summer of 2006 writing down hands for the internet. I got to see Jamie Gold's amazing run and the pain of people busting out. The great thing about working in the poker industry is it's understood that at some point you're probably going to play.
You want to play big pot?
It's kind of funny because a year ago I was sitting in the media room checking out what's happening from behind the rail. This year I find myself on the other side of the camera and on the other side of the table.
One time!
It's been an amazing experience.
It's been a lot of fun.
I am really hoping that I don't have to go put that media credential back on. This is a little bit more fun.
Jeremiah attended a pastoral ministry and plays rugby. He says he's yet to come across another poker player who is a pastor and rugby player.
The weight of the money bubble really pressuring the short stacks right now with less than 20 eliminations before that bubble burst. Back at the featured table, action on Sigurd Eskelin, not worrying about that bubble as the second biggest stack in the room right now. He looks down at ace-queen.
If I understand this correctly, Eskelin is a fourth-grade teacher, and he was chip leader here earlier on day 3.
Yeah.
It just sounds made up to me.
He's going to raise the action to 9,000. Action over to Nanad Medic, 25-year-old pro from Canada who won a bracelet this year, ace-king.
Now, this guy looks like he should be chip leader.
From the big blind, he'll call for 6,000 more and go heads up against Eskelin. Eskelin dominated by Medic. And there's an ace in that flop, hits both players. The king kicker for Medic will play, and he checks.
That flop is bad news for Eskelin.
Eskelin, though, bets out 15,000.
Well, he's normally aggressive, and he has reason to be aggressive here, but he is crushed by Nanad.
I'll raise.
Nanad's going to announce a raise.
Here's the 15.
There's the 15,000. Nanad with top pair, top kicker deciding how much to raise.
He's got Eskelin right where he wants him.
35 more.
All right, 35,000 more to Eskelin, who's dominated by Medic.
How much do you have behind?
Medic has about another 80, 85,000.
Just under 78.
Actually, he has just under 78.
I'm all in.
Eskelin.
I have to call.
He's going to push. Nanad's going to call.
And a call.
It's Medic at risk, but ahead.
Nice answer.
Nanad looking for a big double up here against one of the chip leaders.
And the turn card is a 9 of diamonds. Nanad a huge favorite to double up.
Eskelin can only knock out Medic with a river queen.
River card. Is a river queen. Nanad Medic gone in a flash.
Well, he started the year with a bracelet.
Played the hand very well, sir.
Ends it with a bad beat.
Boy, you can't fault either player, but that's going to sting Nanad for a while.
You took the gamble, you hit the card, that's cool, you know?
You're the only blind.
Yeah, well, he played the hand well, I think.
He did, absolutely.
That is one lucky school teacher.
Stay out of your way, buddy.
I can't lose today, it seems, you know? Just stay out of my way.
To win the World Series, you have to get a bit of luck. That's just the way it goes.
And on this important day, the luck was not with Nanad Medic.
The 2008 World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, main event.
Back at the Rio, 676 players left. Norman, just 10 from the money.
It was $10,000 buy-in. First payouts are $21,000.
To the outer table, Vanessa Rousseau is all in and gets no callers.
Which one? If you want to tell me, I should. I should have re-raised before the flop. I had a very big pair. Very big pair, bigger than 10. I should have re-raised before the flop. I was just scared. I should have.
Why does Vanessa have her purse or bag in her lap? Act like you plan to stay for a while. Jeez. You know, if I'm invited to her wedding, I might not go.
You were dying to go to that wedding. Across the room, Alan Cunningham moved all in and got a call. And Alan wins the pot to double up.
Alan has won a bracelet 3 years in a row. Of course, now he'd have to win the main event to keep that streak alive.
Back to table 2, Victor Ramden with one of the top 20 stacks in the room holds Queen 9 against Bill Blanded 7-6. The flop missed both. Blanded checked. Ramden putting together a bet of 32,000.
Well, Victor's bluffing with the best hand. This is an easy fold for Blanda.
That doesn't make sense to get involved.
If I'd only thought that before meeting Cassandra.
Blanda folds, so Victor Ramden with his monster stack playing hardball again takes that pot.
I'm trying to give away my chips, but nobody's taking it.
I tried to take them, then you fought back.
So you couldn't beat Queen High?
No.
Oh, wow. I made a good read then.
I had 6-7.
Back now to the featured table where we have three-way action after the flop. Sigurd Eskelin has King 10. Frankie Odell also has King 10. David Saab has Ace High and a wheel draw to lead right now.
This is a tough trio. No one here likes to give an inch.
Eskelin is first to act. He bets 20,000. Action on Saab now. Saab with that draw and Ace High makes the call. Frankie Odell folds, so heads up now to the turn. Turn card now is a deuce, and Saab hits his wheel. Eskelin, first to act, that's 40,000.
Eskelin is frisky. He's going to represent an ace. Saab, of course, is in a slightly better position because he actually has the ace. Well, you see here the aggressive style that has allowed Eskelin to accumulate chips, and it's the style that is allowing him to de-accumulate chips.
And Saab is going to raise it. Wow, more than a pot-sized bet. Makes it 120,000.
This is an easy fold for Eskelin. Eskelin has 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 king. See, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 king.
Eskelin finally gets the message and does fold. David Saab with the wheel will take that pot and siphon some chips off of Eskelin.
Do you have fans in the audience? No fans?
They like your Superman shirt. That's what it is.
It's a Superman shirt. That's right.
Everybody's a fan of Superman.
David Saab's known for his shirt and his laugh, but what many don't know about him are the struggles of his past.
I came to Australia when I was 6. My mother, she'd gone through one of those mail order bride processes, and I used to live in a small little mining town, and it was actually kind of rough. A little bit of racism, and you know, there were some pretty rough experiences. You know, as a child, sometimes just be walking in the street, you know, grown men would actually come up and they'd spit in your face. And you know, I mean, these are pretty shocking experiences, especially to go through as a child. I came from a fairly poor background, but it really gives me the incentive and drive, even today. I love poker. I'm not 18 anymore. I'm 35, and I'm still hungry, and you know, I am still passionate about poker. When I am on the tables, I don't see it as money anymore. To me, it's just chips, and I'm hungry to win, and all I want to do is win.
Well, he won an Asian Poker Tour event earlier this year, and the Aussie Millions heads up last year, so he does win.
We're 3 players from the money and playing hand for hand. Each table stops after a hand is complete to prevent any player from stalling. At an outer table, David Peters has moved all in with pocket queens, trying to double up to the chip leader Jeremiah Smith, who has 9-6 of clubs.
As we approach the bubble, Smith was trying to just pick on the shorter stack.
With his tournament at risk, Peters picked up a pretty good hand.
Jeremiah raised the 200,000 from the small blind, and when Peters re-raised all in, Jeremiah called another 160,000 with 9-6 suited.
And oh my, Smith flopped a straight.
As they say in poker, that is sick.
Oh my goodness. Well, Peters not done just yet.
Peters needs runner to stay alive.
Turn card does pair the board. He's got a shot.
There's one runner. He'll need a 10 or queen now.
River card's an ace, and that's going to do it. Jeremiah Smith knocks off David Peters, who is crushed.
And the bloggers back there taking note of the ex-blogger's glory.
I've been dying to abuse the bubble. I won't lie. So I couldn't resist.
With that, Jeremiah, the first one over 1 million chips, but now we are just 2 more eliminations from the money. Elsewhere in the field, Dominic Prunka was all in and ahead after flopping a set of 7s against the 2 pair of Andrew Brokus.
Brokus looking for his 3rd straight main event cash.
Pronko looking to double up here at a critical moment, so close to the money. Turn card is a 10. Pronko one card from doubling up.
And now an 8 and an 8 only would send Pronko home.
And the river card. Is that 8? Another gut-wrenching knockout as Pronko is eliminated in 668th position.
What a tough way to go out, just 2 away from the money.
Broka's hit the 2-outer to knock off Pronko. So now we are 1 away from the money. The next one out is the Bubble Boy of the 2008 main event. This Poker Pack brought to you by FullTiltPoker.net and Hold'em. The starting hand with the worst odds of winning is 7 deuce offsuit. If you see those two hanging out together, walk the other way. Look around. Take a good look around. Wow. Everyone in the room is about to cash. Everyone, that is, except one. One more elimination, and we are in the money. Next person out will be the Bubble Boy. 667 players left. We've got an all-in and a call at the outer tables. Corey Mitchell with pocket jacks. All-in was called by Edmund Maker-Tishian with ace-king of spades against pocket jacks. And the flop is all spades. Maker-Tishian hits the nut flush.
Another sick flop, and now Mitchell needs runner, full house, or quads to stay alive.
Wow. Mitchell on the ropes. Turn card is another 6.
Well, there's one tantalizing runner again. Mitchell needs another 6 or jack, or he's Bubble Boy.
River card. Oh! It is the jack. Mitchell wins the hand.
Oh.
He's not the Bubble Boy. And he's thrilled about it.
One person in all of Clark County, Nevada is happy. Corey Mitchell.
I can just imagine what went through his mind. Please, let me hit this. Another drink, smoke, gamble again. He's got a lot of promises to live up to. Well done, Corey Mitchell.
He's alive for the money.
Oh, my God.
So we are still looking for the Bubble Boy or gal as we go back to our featured table action on the young Irishman, James McManus. So he looks down at Jack 10 of diamonds.
McManus started playing poker in college, primarily online.
He's going to raise it to 9,000. 3 times the big blind. Escalin with pocket 6s.
Escalin got into cards by playing Magic the Gathering.
What a sexy raise.
Wow, he does raise it to 30,000.
A raise of 30,000 is sexy? Get me 30,000 chips, Lon.
David Saab's been away from home too long. So the re-raise back to McManus now. And he pushes even more. 86,000 now to play.
That's a bigger raise. It's getting hot and steamy in here.
Yeah, the shorter stacks now turning the tables, putting pressure on the big stack here. Escalin lays it down.
Raise the razor and take it down.
And McManus shows the bluff.
Oh, that's it.
Well, now McManus feels very, very smart.
Is this a Scandinavian as well?
You didn't have a 10.
It should be the full betting person.
9?
Full bet with Jack 10 suited. Norwegian is looking at him and I think he's thinking, I'm so going to get you. That's what he's thinking.
He bullied the bully.
Well, we are still one player away from the money, and we do have some action at an outer table. Steve Chong with pocket 8s moved all in pre-flop. He's up against Jesse McEwen and his pocket kings. Chong's going to have to improve, or he's our Bubble Boy. Anxiously awaiting the flop. And here is the flop. It is deuce, jack, deuce. McEwen's kings are still ahead.
Chung still looking for an 8 or running hearts.
Turn card is a heart, and Chung with a flush draw.
Well, the bubble won't burst easily.
No.
Chung needs an 8 or any heart other than the king. Otherwise, he's Bubble Boy.
River card 6 of spades, and that's going to do it. Steve Chong just made 666 new friends as the Bubble Boy.
The word will spread, and this place is going to erupt.
Justin Phillips and the others just made over $21,000.
Take that money, boys.
666 players in the money. Now, as the field gets smaller, the cash gets bigger.
2008 World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. Main event.
We're in the money, baby, in the money! Jason Young still alive for a second bracelet. It's like carnival at this Rio right now. The whole room takes a break to celebrate, and they deserve it. And how about this? Adam Schoenfeld cashed.
The relief is palpable.
I'm now the best player never to cash at the World Series.
Relief. Now I want to win $9 million. Step 1, money. Step 2, $9 million.
Adam Schoenfeld cashed at a World Series event, I believe, is one of the 7 signs of the apocalypse.
If recent World Series history has taught us anything, it's that the short stacks will be very active right now. And one of those short stacks is Justin Phillips. Ace-king high against the aces of Tom Hanlon. The river card doesn't help him, and Justin Phillips is gone.
Well, with 21 grand, maybe he can get some Armani overalls.
Across the room, Phil Hellmuth has now extended his record of most cashes at the World Series to 68, facing an all-in bet by Tom Cope on the flop.
This is how I make all my money. I'm making great moves right here.
Phil Hellmuth making his patented speech, and this is not the most attentive audience the Poker Brat has ever had. No, it was a concession speech.
Phil folds. Cope will take that pot. Men the Master is second in the number of cashes at the World Series behind Phil, but he's knocked out here.
And now it's going to be up to Mrs. Master to bring home the bacon.
Van Wen is keeping the main event hopes alive for the family, playing in her first main event. And everyone's attention now focused on that bracelet after already having some fresh cash in their pocket. All right, back down to our feature table. Action on David Saab. Saab looks down at Ace-4 of clubs.
Saab owned a company that was an internet service provider. He started the business in 1996.
With Ace-4, Saab raises it to 11,000. Action folds over to 21-year-old Swedish player Paul Christofferson.
In the big blind.
Jack-8 of spades. He needs 7,000 to call. And that's what he'll do.
This table's got gamble written all over it.
Christofferson and Saab now to the flop. Flop is ace, tray, king, Saab with a pair of aces and a commanding lead. Christofferson checks. Saab with those aces checks behind him.
Saab probably could have ended it there with a bet.
Deuce of hearts on the turn. Saab earns the check mark. Christofferson drawing dead. But he's reaching for chips. And he will bet 20,000.
Christofferson bluffs at it. Saab gets what he wanted.
He raises at it. 50,000 now.
That should be see ya, wouldn't want to be ya.
Not so fast, says the Swedish player. A raise to 130,000.
Did I tell you this table had gamble in it? Did I not, Lon?
You did.
And look, he's got David Saab trying to rub the gamble out of his eyes. Saab got Christofferson to bet exactly what he was looking for, and now he's paralyzed by the re-raise.
Wow, and Saab gives it up.
Wow.
Aggression is key at this table, and Christofferson shows the bluff.
The jacks are hot today, Jack 10 suited, Jack 8 suited. We should all bluff if we have a suited jack in our hand.
Nobody's wearing a cowboy hat, but this is wild, wild west poker.
Yeah, you heard Escalon, who got pushed off a pocket pair by a suited jack earlier. Saab, though, not finding the humor in that moment. All right, back to table 2. Victor Ramden in a three-way pot. Ramden with a straight draw. Bill Blanda with a pair of kings leads. Edgerton Bullock comes up way short with Jack 10. And he checks it after the flop. Over to Victor Ramden now, who loves aggression. He bets 20,000. Now to Blanda with the best hand, and he comes along with a call. Bullock folds.
Ramden and Blanda move to the middle of the ring again.
Turn card now is an ace. Nobody has an ace. Blanda still leads.
I got an ace.
But you're ahead.
I wish I had that ace. It's the ace of spades, the prettiest card in the deck.
Ramden checks. Blanda checks. River card is a queen. Blanda has the check mark with a pair of kings. Ramden loves to be aggressive. That's 65,000.
That's a real nice bet.
It is if you fold. Victor in full bluff mode with 6 high.
What should I do? I'm stuck. You surprised me with that. Give me some advice.
Blanda talking a good game. Ramden playing a good game.
Want to help a brother out. God, Victor, come on.
This is comedy at its best.
If you're bluffing me, will you buy me lunch tomorrow? I got to get something out of it. I just can't fold.
I'll buy you lunch or dinner anytime, whether I'm bluffing or not.
Really? All right, well, that's in the books. Now let's get something for your bluffing me.
Yeah, if you fold, you've got to get at least a mallow bar out of it.
That's a healthy bet. It's a good bet.
Blanda gives it up and shows his king.
All right, I promise to buy you dinner, all right?
Very nice, sir. Very nice.
Wow, everyone's showing their bluff today.
That's why you're Victor Ramden.
And that's why he's raking in your chips. And that's why he's one of the best players left in the room.
Is he bluffing? I think he's trying to bluff me here. I bet that ace hit. What is he thinking? What is he trying? When the ace came off on 4th Street, he played with his chips. 13 to 1, 12 to 1, 16 to 4 to 1, 8 to 2. Makes my 2 pair good. Turn on unless I'm drawing dead. I like my chances. I'm all in. We play at FullTiltPoker.com.
Back inside the Rio as this pressure-packed day winds down and the eliminations pile up. The short stacks were just hoping this day would bring them money. Once it did, they push in and hope. A lot of them get knocked out in a hurry.
Let's take the money and run and pump some of that money back into the local economy.
We'll wait for the next year.
A lot of them will, including Pat Peasant, who was just knocked out.
Danny Negreanu's personal photographer is done.
At another table, Vanessa Russo was all in and all out.
You got money now, Vanessa. Don't get the cheap invitations that killed Susan and Seinfeld.
Vanessa has 3 cashes at this World Series. This was her first ever main event cash. Billy Gazes is out. He ran into pocket aces.
Behind him when he squeezed out those 2 aces. I didn't like your chances then.
Another one of my favorites to the rail. Billy, I'll buy you a bracelet.
As the eliminations continue, tables break, players get moved. There is blogger turned poker player Jeremiah Smith with his 1.2 million chips moving to a new table.
But he needed a service tray to carry over all his chips.
He was the chip leader not too long ago, but now there is a new sheriff in town, Jeremy Joseph, sitting on almost 1.4 million in chips. Jeremy in a hand right now with Jean-Robert Ballant after the turn. 2 aces are on the board. Jeremy made a big bet, and action is now to Jean-Robert. Jean-Robert is going to give it up to the biggest stack.
Joseph went to the University of Michigan, and he's got Jean-Robert wishing he were back in China scrounging for toilet paper.
Jeremy Joseph, 23-year-old, just squeezed into the cash at last year's main event. Been playing poker for 6 years. Lives in one of the prettiest spots around Norman South, Lake Tahoe.
I live in North Lake Tahoe.
On the E-Trade financial chip count, you see Joseph and Jeremiah Smith, the only 2 players over the 1 million chip mark. Sigurd Eskelin used to be the chip leader. He's now in the 9th spot, but still sitting at our featured table. The 4th grade teacher from Oslo, Norway, does have the biggest stack at this table right now. Sigurd, a teacher, graduated from Teachers University in Oslo, Norway. James McManus on the button and on the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam, ace-queen offsuit.
At this featured table, if you don't have a PhD in bluffing, you ought not be here.
A raise to 11,000 from McManus. Ace-5 offsuit for Eskelin.
Our players now concentrating on building these stacks to give them a shot at going far.
Eskelin re-raised to 40,000. Now action back to McManus. McManus bluffed Eskelin out of a pot earlier. McManus, that best hand right there, will raise it up to 108,000.
We're not talking bluffing here. We're talking uber aggression.
I'm all in.
All in. Wow, and an all-in from Eskelin.
It's a pre-flop bloodfest, and this would put McManus all in.
But if McManus calls, Eskelin in trouble as he has Eskelin dominated.
I call.
He calls.
Good call.
A very good call.
Wow. Sickness. Double sickness. Oh my God.
Eskelin is a 4th grade teacher, but he plays like he's a buck-naked skydiving bounty hunter.
Here's the flop now. And there's a queen. McManus all but puts an end to this hand.
Indeed, McManus now positioned for a huge double-up.
Eskelin looks like he's about to hand half his stack to James McManus. Turn cards and ace will give the check mark to McManus. Ace is up means a double-up.
All right. Good on.
That is a great ace-5 shove. I love that shove. That's a great shove.
Saab loves to see the reckless action.
300,000. Oh man, you got the best of me every pot.
Right there. Well, it would help Sigurd if you had better cards.
I didn't. I wouldn't get there now. I've lost the touch.
Yeah, the touch and over half your stack. Today was all about the money. He's real! Some left the main event empty-handed. Others, like Chow Jang, made money and then made their exit.
I don't want to pay. Why you doing that?
Those remaining include players with big names, some with big chip stacks, and champions with big aspirations.
If I could beat 6,800 people, they'll be talking about me forever.
Former chip leader Brian Chadlick is now a short stack, while Sigurd Eskelin took the lead and then took a big hit. The quest for the cash is over. The battle for the bracelet is on. For Norman Chad, I'm Lon McCarran. See you next time from the main event.